message about YouTube. And you
It's
want to be sure to
preparing-
close the YouTube because otherwise you're going to hear yourself recording.
Oh, I'm not in YouTube.
Well, it's being live streamed, so. Message about YouTube. And you want to be sure to close the YouTube. Yeah, see, close that window that just opened.
I sure did.
All right.
And we're live. Good afternoon. Happy Friday. It is 3:35 and you are with the pretty cool and awesome Natural Resources, Agriculture, and Open Space Subcommittee. I'm your chair, Delegate Regina T. Boyce, and we are going to discuss 3 bills today, SB 10, SB 828, and SB 911. Patrick, you want to start us off with SB 10?
Yeah, SB 10 is pretty simple. It just requires DNR to, did we let people in?
Everyone is in that I know is in.
Okay.
I don't see anybody. No one's in the waiting room.
Okay. SB 10 requires
Nobody
DNR
wants to spend Friday with us.
What's that, Teresa?
I just said nobody wants to spend Friday afternoon with us.
That's true. That's okay. It can be an intimate meeting. It's all right. And the meeting has officially begun. Good, Patrick.
All right. Senate Bill 10 requires DNR to make various documents available on digital electronic basis. Pretty much everything that they can. The exceptions that are spelled out, the exceptions that are spelled out are basically related to things that have to be affixed mainly to a boat or things that are prohibited by federal law. And there is a special section that says, you know, if the federal law suddenly authorizes it, that they should look into it and try to get that electronically issued too.
Right. And I remember, if I remember, and I'm actually looking at it now, that this also, because people do like their paper, it's one is still required to attach, affix, or display number, stickers, or decals associated with the license, stamp, permit, registration, or certificate on a vehicle, vessel, dock, or gear as required under the article of the regulations.
Well, yeah, you still have to display the numbers
Yes.
required by federal law and the
Yep.
like.
Move the bill.
Second.
Any discussion? Any questions, challenges, concerns, additional information? Okay. The bill as amended.
Second.
There's no amendment.
Oh, I'm looking at the amended version. I'm sorry, from the Senate.
This is
I'm
the third
sorry.
reading Senate bill, yeah.
Okay. So bill's been, did you move the bill?
I did.
Okay, then the
second.
bill. Okay, and then all in favor. So we just moved the bill SB 10 favorable as it came over from the Senate to the committee. Yes.
I was voting, sorry.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I think we already did. I thought it was an
Sorry.
amended version because I'm looking at the amended version.
Wait, we already voted?
Jay moved the bill. I was about to move the bill as amended, but the bill was moved as the bill, not the bill as amended.
Sorry.
No, sorry, that was my fault, not you. Sorry. Okay.
Maybe we should explain this to the new delegates.
Yes.
This is a Senate bill, so we're voting on the third reading version of the Senate bill. The amendments were already put on by the Senate, so the delegate Jacobs moved this bill.
And there's no cross file.
There is no crossfile, but this is
No, I was just
still
letting them know.
Yep. So Delegate Jacobs moved this bill, the third reader Senate bill.
Any other questions? Clarifications? SB 422 two.
Did we vote?
You got a, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, what happened? What happened just there?
We have to vote on Senate Bill 10.
I made a motion, Otto seconded, and we were just waiting for the raise your
All right, I'm
hand.
sorry. Official motion to move the SB 10.
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
All those in favor of SB 10, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Abstentions? Anybody happy it's Friday? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now we go to SB 422, and this is the Natural Resources Black Bear Conservation Fund establishment. And we need to, I believe, Patrick, conform this to the House bill.
I don't have that on my list.
Oh, I'm sorry, 823, sorry. I've got two running lists together.
That'll be on our next subcommittee.
Wait, which one are we
We
on?
did that today, actually, sorry. We're on SB 823. I actually sent the list in an email today.
Yeah,
I'm just looking at a combined list, sorry. This was the Senator Carrozza's Natural Resources Annual State Park Pass discount for law enforcement officers and first responders. This is the one where the fee is 75 and I think it's a discounted amount of 40. One of the things I do want to talk about, and Patrick and I discussed it, about looking at the fiscal note, because while I certainly support first responders and law enforcement officers, it's $75 for which they're getting half off. And if I read correctly in the that it does special fund revenues decrease minimally beginning in FY 24 as discussed below, but they say expenditures are not necessarily expected to be materially affected.
The fiscal note's not that large. It goes on to discuss how the first responders are about 2% of the population, how a number of them probably already get day passes as military veterans and the like. And further notes that, you know, any losses might be offset by more park passes being purchased. In addition, it basically comes in around a guesstimate of around under $10,000.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to defer to the committee. I'm not sure. I guess I don't really understand it. Delegate Tarasa.
okay, so I'm confused. I thought the fiscal note said minimal cost, which I didn't really understand because I figured you needed the rest of the details that Patrick just gave us, which is how many people are in that category.
It's
that we would
2%
discuss.
potentially.
It's in the state revenue section on page 2 of the fiscal note.
Okay, well, yeah, I don't, if they already have day passes, I'm not sure why this,
No, that's for military. There
Military.
just might be an
Are they-
overlap in the population.
oh. Hmm. So the fiscal note, you said, but it doesn't reflect the correct cost. It just says minimal. But
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it says there's 11,703 annual state park passes were purchased in calendar year 2022, and approximately the same number of annual passes are purchased in future years. So if you figure all 2% of the population decided to have a $35 pass instead of a $75 pass, you know, what does that look like?
So here's just my 2 cents. I completely support law enforcement, first responders, and happy to do whatever for them. My only concern is just to open the door for us to come up with a lot of other categories of people we decide are important to, you know, people with disabilities or people with, you know, it's the only concern I have. Otherwise, well, you know, I'd like to do anything we can for law enforcement, first responders. So interested in whatever.
Yeah,
I believe people with disabilities are already covered as adults over the age of 62.
they are.
Okay. So Okay, that's good to know. I just wonder if there's other categories, like if we just keep expanding, but
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, I kind of feel like we should figure out how to make them free anyway, but that's a whole other bill.
I mean, it also says too, about the waiver for the day passes for veterans, active duty military personnel. It says to an extent first responders and law enforcement officer are veterans or members of the National Guard may have less of an incentive to purchase annual pass, even with the bill's discount. So again, I go back to admirable, but I'm not sure. I mean, we're not necessarily solving a problem, but what is the real incentive here? So I don't know.
Can I just ask one last, and this is probably a really dumb question, but are these annual passes per person or per car? I don't know how that works. And I did try to look this up the other day. I forgot. I don't remember what I found. Do we know that, Patrick?
Haven't
Or
had
anybody
one
else?
before.
Nick looks
Pretty sure
like
they're per person, but I'm.
In my
sure.
experience, typically it's per car. It's per car to gain a minute.
I mean, I meant to say that. Yeah, right. Per car.
That's what I thought I recalled, but okay. So it's also the families of all these folks, which is also people I'd like to help, but I mean, it's just one other thing.
Delegate Ziegler, then Delegate Allen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Did you say that it was 11,000 something total park passes purchased per year?
It says 11,703 annual state park passes were purchased in 2022, and they anticipate the approximate same number would be are going to be purchased in future years.
So that would be $385,000 if you gave a 35% discount to everybody, but I have to figure first responders are a tiny percentage of that, right?
They said it's two. Let's say hypothetically, let's say of the 2% population that we're talking about are within the current $75 purchase, then you would minus that 2%, and then I guess
so that would be like 220 people that you're giving
pretty much, I guess.
a pass to, so times
Yeah.
$35, $7,700.
Yeah. But the question, I mean, the question is if let's say we pass this and I have a pass, but I also have a car full of individuals and I can also get a day pass, like what's.
Right. I hear you.
I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just respectfully saying, I don't know. Delegate Allen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. No, I would say back to the day pass thing. Again, in my experience, my wife and I, we visit the state parks a lot, and we tend to enjoy the military discount ourselves. I think normally it depends on the park, but I think it's normally $5 or $10 to per car to park. So if if your family has a first responder, if you don't go that often, you still might not be purchasing the annual pass. Like if they are reasoning that they're going to go to less than 6 parks a year, it's cheaper to just pay $5 each time rather than the annual pass. So I view this more as incentivizing the purchase of annual passes rather than the day use passes. But just food for thought there.
Oh, okay. I can see that as well. Tarasa.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really like what I'm sort of obsessed on is why we can't just make them free for everyone. It's not really the problem of giving this to law enforcement officers and first responders. I really hope we look at a way. I'd love for us to make them free and do like a donation box, because I know a lot of people who put money in for those types of things, but including me, but I don't know. That's not the bill before us, so I'll stop talking about it.
No, I don't. I think you have a valid point. Is that, one of our most treasured assets is something that we have to go pay to see to a certain extent. And we're saying that this group of people should get a discount given their position status. So I don't know. I don't love this. I don't hate this. I just it's like 2%. I mean, I'd like to hear other thoughts. Again, I'm not moved either way.
If I may, I just want to add to the U.S. National Park Service has a very similar program for veterans. I believe it's around the same discount. It's like a 45%
Like half
discount.
off?
Yeah, but that price, it's like like the annual pass for the national parks, I think is like I think it was like $150 or something like that. And I think the military price is 80, something along those lines. So I think that might be where this the inspiration for this
Got
bill
it.
came from. I know the feds were working on a way to make that free for veterans and possibly first responders as well. But again, I would just make the argument that I think this is more incentivizing the purchase of the annual pass rather than day use.
No, I see. That certainly makes sense. I wanted to see quickly, remind myself if there was a letter from, no,
Letter from who?
DNR?
No, I don't think DNR testified on this. There was just the one gentleman from Salisbury.
Yeah, I'm
and
looking at,
for the record, the park pass allows, it's per vehicle for up to 10 persons. So you can't get a school bus and drive it.
Right. Yeah. So you can't take a bus.
Do we
yeah.
let school buses in for free? We should.
One, two, I'm kind of getting hung up on such a small fee being so drastically discounted. Like it's $75 and then it's 40 off. I don't know. Baker. You're on mute, buddy. Hold on, I got you. Let me see if I can. Is your phone, I mean, is your computer mic off? That may be the issue. It's in the far right corner. If you click the arrow up, you'll see like a speaker looking, because I think it's your computer, because you're actually off mute, but we can't hear you. All right, I'm gonna come back to you. I think it's your computer, not the Zoom. Delegate Ruth.
Thank you. Maybe if Delegate Baker went out and came back in, sometimes that fixes it. But I just was going to address your comment about it being a low fee anyway. And I guess to me, there's a difference between 70 and 30 in terms of it just seems 30 is the kind of thing that in a lot of cases you could spend really without thinking too much about it. But 70 kind of seems to cross that threshold where it's a little, I don't know if I can afford that or not. I don't know. That's just me, I guess.
But there are also individuals who don't necessarily, who certainly get, well, let me not speak for someone's finances, but I believe you put money into the things that you value, no matter your socioeconomic background. If parks are important,
True.
then you
True.
got, you put in $75. If you don't think they're that important, but sometimes you can get an incentive anytime to try it out, you may. Baker, do we have you now? Oh, yeah. I think it's your computer. I think your computer speaker or something is off or muted, because you're not on mute on Zoom. Delegate Terrassa.
Sorry, I was on mute. Just my 2 cents on the cost of it. I think I know I'm harping on the same thing again, but I think it's kind of high for anyone. I mean, joining for $70 would prevent me from wanting to do that. Whereas if it were 40, so I guess that supports Nick's point, but wouldn't that be true if we just did it for everyone, reduce it now to 40 or, I don't know. I'm back on the same thing I said I wouldn't talk about, so I'm going to stop.
Okay. Is there a desire to move this bill as is?
Move the bill.
Is there a
For the
second?
record, there is an amendment to move the effective date from October to June.
Oh. Is that per the sponsor or is that per somebody else?
That was the sponsor's amendment.
Delegate Ruth.
Thank you. I do remember the sponsor saying that in the hearing, that it was so that they could enjoy the park during the summer this year.
Okay, Delegate Otto.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm in Delegate Allen's camp. I think it would encourage more yearly passes to be bought, and rather than using a daily pass, and maybe encourage those individuals to get there sooner, more often, so that'll qualify. So I'd move the amendments.
So you're moving the amendment to change the
Yep.
date from October to June?
Yes.
Is there a
I'll
second?
I'll second.
All in favor of the date change, say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposition? Seeing none, their motion to move the bill is amended.
Move the bill as amended.
Second,
Second.
is there a second? All in favor of the amended bill, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any discussions? Anybody still wanted to make it free for everybody?
I'd like to
Passes
see
with
that fiscal
amendment.
note.
Yeah, that would be a fiscal note.
Somebody's got to pay Ranger Bill.
Well, that too. Did that too. So now we're at SB 911, Natural Resources Fishing License and Stamps Exemptions. This is another bill that is just a Senate bill. It does not have a cross file. Here we go. Patrick?
Yeah, this bill authorizes DNR to provide fishing access. It expands. It's a current program and expands the eligible people to take advantage of the program under an umbrella. Currently, they do it for, I guess they do about 20 a year, and they do it for nonprofit organizations. I think government agencies can too. Yeah, government agencies with physical or mental disabilities, or have served in who have served in the armed forces to take them fishing, and expands it with veterans, individuals with disabilities, groups providing physical, mental wellness outdoor events. Gives the example of breast cancer survivor events, groups providing outdoor events for special needs individuals, groups providing educational fishing opportunities, and then underserved communities, for fishing opportunities.
Right.
It's trying to expand and
Fishing.
sell fishing as a hobby, as an activity.
And if I remember right, you can't be an individual. It has to be like an organization taking folks or groups or special groups out. Delegate Jacobs.
And I did look it up, and it was supported, and oral testimony by Department of Natural Resources. I moved the bill.
Yep. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposition? Any other discussion? Bill moves favorable from our subcommittee. That is it. There are other bills on our list, but they are bills that are essentially the cross file to bills that we have already passed. So we'll see those out, I guess, on Monday. And I'm trying to think if there gonna be
Monday?
any. Yeah, those are it. Was there a question? Oh, so including the three we just favorably moved. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll have 7 on this list, 3 of which were not cross files and that we just discussed.
Right. What I meant was, are we meeting on Monday, like as a committee? Is that what you're saying?
No, we're not.
Okay.
Well, as
So,
a committee, I think we may have a voting session. I'm not sure.
okay. So you're saying if we have on Monday, we'll vote on it then?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
Wait,
So move.
Bye-bye.
Wait, we
We're
need the
doing it.
pickle. We need the
We need the
pickle.
pickle to officially adjourn.
Hey, Delegate Boyce,
Yes, sir.
I did ask, if we were if the committee was going to vote before 3 o'clock, and the indication was no.
Okay,
Good.
that's
So,
fine, but
Good
yeah,
Tuesday.
but you know how it goes. We'll be in and out and in and out and voting and voting and voting.
but I
so
mean, we're not planning to meet before 3 is what I'm saying.
no, mm-mm, I don't
All right.
think so. Officially.
All right, we're out.
Good weekend, everybody.
Goodbye.
Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Rest up.